I dropped out of school. I lived in London with a group of friends. Didn't even have a bed. Okay,
Jeez.
slept on the floors. Yeah, and I got into debts that most people who would watch me here wouldn't even be able to comprehend. I was struggling with taking 1% risks on these trades. 38 years of my attachment to money, and I'm risking 2 grand. I'm risking my monthly salary. When people said, right, this is not going to work, I was like, I did not give up, bro. I was like, this is it for me.
Yeah, how does it feel
Yeah,
to be 500k funded, bro?
can't
Right.
believe it. I can't believe it. Whereas it took me 2 years to pass a 150k account, I passed my first 5 accounts, passed it in 3 days. I can withdraw 1,300 per account. It's the shift in the mindset.
Yeah.
That's what made it for me. There's a couple of things that you said to me that really changed the game for me. And I told this to my family, and I told my mum about it. Just the way you said it
Yeah.
to me is like, bro. I had exposure to trading for so long.
Yeah.
I've been trading personal accounts. I think I started off. I think my very first time I started off, I think I put like this was back in 2011 or 12 when I was in university.
Yeah.
I think I had a friend in uni called Simon, and
All
he's
right.
the one who kind of got me interested. So I was doing a degree in accounting at the time, but
Jeez.
didn't know I wasn't sure if I wanted to go into trading or anything like that. But I always knew I liked it. Um, and I started with 800 quid. And beginner's luck, I built that $800 up to something like, I don't know, a couple of grand, 3 grand or something like that. And
Sheesh.
I was like,
Yeah.
yep, I've made it. I'm the best. I know what
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah. Yeah.
doing. I'm a trader now.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, in the UK, I think they used to have something called spread betting. They still have it. Spread betting is very similar to CFDs, but then there's no tax. You don't pay any tax on them, any winnings on the spread betting,
All
because
right.
it's classed as like pure betting. Yeah, it's a very similar
Uh
thing
huh.
to CFDs. Um, and so that was my first foray into trading. And then obviously I kept trying things, and then I thought, right, I got a strategy using all these indicators and this, that, and the
Mm-hmm.
other. And then you think, all right, yeah, I figured it out, and then you go and blow away.
Yeah.
And then you
Yeah.
just
The
and the
usual.
cycle just repeats itself, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then so it was like, for me, it was like on and off, on and off. And then I think I had my landlord at the time when I was in university. He got interested in trading, and then we did something together, and I made a bit of money, and then went and lost it all.
Usual.
And so yeah, so this experience of like having an exposure to the financial market was always there for me. So, but even when I had my personal account and I was like slowly making money through during COVID and all those times,
Yeah.
um, I never treated it like a like a business or like a profession. And I think that's where a lot of people struggle, because if you just look at it as this is just something on the side, it'll always stay as something on the side,
Yeah.
because you're not putting all that effort into really doing it. Like I was listening to someone, or I heard somewhere like, trading is one of the hardest ways to make easy
Easy
money.
money. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. That's the quote.
And I hear that get thrown around all the time, and it is so true, because
Mm-hmm.
it is easy money once you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And it's not a case of just like having a strategy, and because you always like get the question in it, what's more important, the strategy or psychology? Like, for me, I think it's both. But I
Yeah.
think it comes in stages,
Yeah.
rather than
Exactly.
because I think at first you don't have a psychology problem, because
Yeah.
when you first time into the market, you're like, you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So
It's
there's
exactly
no
like that.
element of yeah, there's no element of psychology building around it, is it? I mean,
I.
psychology
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
any of that, only the problem only happens after you figure something out and you make mistakes, and then you create bad habits, and then you gotta have a system to, like, like to change those habits and stuff. And that's where psychology comes in, I think.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I usually
strategy, I
say
think
it's like 80% strategy and 20% psychology at the start. And once you got the strategy figured out, then it's 80% psychology
it's
and
the other
20.
way around.
Yeah,
Yeah, and yeah,
exactly.
you're spot on with that, bro. You're spot on, because
Yeah.
you know you never learn all of this stuff until you actually throw yourself into the deep end, and
Exactly.
then figure it
Exactly.
out. And
Exactly.
I was telling one of my friends the other day, I said, "Do you want to learn trading?" I said, put your own money into it, blow some money first,
Yeah.
then you will learn trading, because it's not just about learning the strategy and stuff. You have to learn how to deal with losses, you know?
Yep.
Because if you're good at like, when you become so good at like, you know, like taking losses, that's when it'll start clicking for you.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
if you don't know how to like manage that losing day and that losing period, that's when people, we go, how many times have you done it? How many times have I done it? We skip between strategies. We look at something, we have
Yeah.
a strategy. We're like, yes, this is it. And then you hear someone else say something similar to it, and you're like, hold on a second, let me try that. Oh, wait, maybe if I add that to what I do,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
that'll
Yeah.
work. And then what do? You go and change something. You go change a little something on your strategy. You test it for a couple of trades. You're like, yes, this works. Happy days. And then what happens? 2 days later, you go and blow a big
Exactly,
one.
bro. Exactly. Exactly. Now, but
So,
like, obviously now you got like 500K, right? Almost out of
I
nowhere,
can't
right?
believe it. I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
Like,
It's mental.
how was it like beforehand? Just before you moved over to futures, because you were on
All right.
CFDs,
So,
correct?
yeah. Do you know what? And I gotta thank you for that, man, so much, because I think that day I turned up on your live, I think that's the day. I mean, I'm gonna class that as day one of my trading now, because if it was on, I swear to you, no word of lie, because up until then, I had a CFD challenge account that I was trying for almost a year. Actually, no, just under 2 years
That's
to try
crazy.
and pass this
That's
account,
crazy.
bro. Honestly, because I treated it like, like a real money account, and then
Mm-hmm.
I kept trading it like that, and you know, um, and I just couldn't pass it for whatever.
Yeah.
And I think the other reason is also because with CFDs, you got most of the CFD prop challenges. You got phase one and phase two.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta try and get to like make 10% or 8% on the first one, and then you got to make another 5%. Futures is so different. six
Yeah.
percent game. That's it. Job done.
Yeah.
And the mistake I made as well is I went for a 300K. Remember after I spoke to you the first.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then I bought it, and then I looked at the numbers. I was like, hold on a second, it's not really even, because I need to make, I can't remember what I think
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
21,000 or
Yeah.
something like that. And then your drawdown was only like 7.5. So it's not 50, it's not like 1:1 ratio in terms of your losses
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
gains.
Yeah.
50K, it's
Mm-hmm.
it's equal, at two and a
Yeah.
half and
Yeah.
three
The
grand. So
ratio. Yeah. Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
there or
Yeah. Yeah.
thereabouts. But yeah, I think going into futures was just, I think that was the best way for me to like like trade like stress free, in a sense. And there's two factors to it, right? One is the fact that they're all one phase challenges. Okay, there's only
Yeah.
one phase to it. The other thing is the cost to the barrier to entry, because
Exactly.
you know and when you said, Dan, get 50K accounts, and then you're allowed to have 20 accounts and stuff, and then all of a sudden when you look at the cost of these
Exactly.
50K challenges, um you like you know what, when there's an offer, like the last one I bought, I
Yep.
paid £14 and 75 pence
That's
for a
crazy.
50K challenge.
That's crazy, bro.
£14. It's $19.60, but it's £14.75. But then the great thing about that is because I can spend 14.75 on a challenge. If I fail it, I've just lost $14.75. That's
Yep.
it. You know?
You compare that
So
to CFD, the actual 50Ks into CFD, it's like 10 times the price, and like
exactly.
you pay it up front.
Absolutely. Because a 50K is what? About a couple of hundred quid, isn't it? Like about 150,
It's
200 quid?
it's like basically this one you got for $20, and in the CFDs the 50Ks cost around $200,
Exactly.
and
Yeah,
that's
that's
with a
right.
discount. Like
Yeah,
that's
exactly. And the thing is, you have to pay that up front, and if you don't pass it, and I think that is where it makes you feel like I have to treat this like real money. I
yeah,
have to be serious about it, because you think, because it's $200 up front, and that's a lot
yeah,
of money for people.
yeah.
So but whereas with this, it was brilliant, and I never forget, bro. There's a couple of things that you said to me that really changed the game for me. And
Hmm.
I told this to my family as well. I told my mum about it. I said, and this is the one thing he said. You know, when you said to me, you said, bro, it's fake money. It's
Yeah.
just the way you said it
Yeah.
to me. It's like, bro, it's fake money. Why are you like so bothered about it?
Yeah.
Like, if you lose it, you lose it. And I was like, yeah, he's right. He's right. It's not real. When I'm trading a challenge, it's not real money. If I just pass it, they're not going to give me 3 grand.
Yep.
They're going to give me the opportunity to go and make money, you know? So why am I so stressed about it?
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
and when I realized that, I was like, "Oh, do you know what? Well, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go for it."
Yep.
And
Yep.
and 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 whereas it took me 2 years to pass a 150K account, I
Jesus.
passed my first 5 accounts in
Yep.
in actually in 3 days. It was 4 days of trading, but I passed it in 3 days.
That's nuts, bro. That's nuts. Cause
Insane, insane.
Cause yeah, I remember you sending me a text on like the 23rd of October saying like, "Yo, I got 5 accounts. I'm gonna try to pass them."
Yeah.
Then like on November, "Yo, bro, I got it. I done it, man." That's insane, man. That's insane.
And it's the shift in the mindset. That's what
Yeah,
that's what made it for me. You know.
yeah, yeah. And I think you also mentioned that like trading smaller accounts really changed your psychology.
Yes, yes. So I'll tell you why what that was. So so when I was trading these 150K accounts and stuff, right? So a 1%, let's say 200K account, for example. So
Mm-hmm.
1% is a 2 grand trade. Now for a normal person who does a job and you work for your money,
Yeah,
a 2 grand is a monthly salary.
yeah,
Yeah. $2,000 is what you earn a month. Or 1,500, 2 grand, £2,000 is what you earn
yeah,
in a
yeah,
month. So your attachment to that 2 grand, even though it shows as it's a demo account or whatever,
yeah,
you are attached to that figure.
yeah.
All these years.
Exactly.
I'm 38 now. 38 years of my attachment to money. You know, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm risking 2 grand. I'm risking my monthly salary.
Yep.
That is hard for you to
Yeah,
deal
yeah,
with,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know. So what do I do? So what I did, I started going, right. No, no, I don't want to risk that much. I'll risk less. I'll go 1/4%. Because I
Yeah.
think if I see 500, it might won't affect me so much, and then I'll wait for maybe a 3 hour trade or a 5 hour trade or something like that. Does it always happen?
Jeez.
No, it doesn't always happen. And then what happens? The other thing, what happens? You risk $500. You're up like 1,500 or $1,000. You're like, oh, I don't want to lose that now.
Yeah.
So I'm up 1,000. I don't want to lose my
Yeah, yeah,
1,000.
yeah,
So
yeah.
what do? You take a partial. You do this. You do all of those stuff. But then when you're actually in a trade and your trade is in drawdown and you're about to hit your stop loss, at that point you don't think about, oh wait, I'm losing money. Let me just take a partial there. No, you'll be
Mm-hmm.
like, you're hoping for it to flip.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
yeah, yeah,
see,
yeah.
when you're in drawdown, you're hoping for that trade to flip. But when you're in profit, you're like, oh wait, I've got this much money. Let me just take. But this skews up your risk to reward ratio, because your plan. If you have a trade model that that's got a 70% win rate or whatever, that model only works if you run your trades to TP.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I
The
mean?
same way you would
If
do
you
in
start it.
backtesting, exactly.
Exactly. You have to do that. But this is where the multiple accounting helped me, because I was struggling with taking 1% risks on these trades, but having multiple accounts on a 50K, I looked at it like this way, because and it's all part of the whole, this is fake money.
Yeah.
I think that really changed the way I thought, bro. Because all of a sudden I was like, right, okay, I got £2,500 drawdown, okay, trailing drawdown. What I'm going to do is I'm going to risk 250 max on a trade.
Mm-hmm.
That gives me 10 potential trading. I know it's trailing drawdown, but still,
Yeah.
on average, let's say it gives me eight trades, whatever, okay?
Yeah.
If I lose 8 trades in a row, I'll blow the account,
Yeah.
yeah? But based on what I do, I haven't lost 8 trades in a row.
Yeah.
So I know at some point I will pull it back.
And then
Okay.
you're not thinking about the actual figures. You're thinking about this account costed like $15.
Correct.
Yeah.
And the thing is, also, I'm not seeing 2 grand, 3 grand losses or profits or anything.
Mm-hmm.
All I'm
Mm.
seeing
Yeah,
is
yeah,
because I'm only looking at that one account. You see,
yeah,
I know it's copied across all the other accounts, but I'm only looking at that one single account. And then on that account, if I see a $100 drawdown, I'm like, yeah, it's fine,
yeah, 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 yeah,
fine. But when I see $600 profit, I'm like, oh, that's actually pretty decent. So I'll
yeah,
close that. But the flip side to it is I made 600 times five.
yep, exactly.
If I take a loss on that one account, okay, right, I've lost say $200, all right, on a trade. Um, when I look at it, I'm like, right, I've only so when I look at my losses, I'll only look at it per account. This is to help me with my psychology. I won't multiply my losses times five.
Yeah,
I won't. And that's because the way I see it is how many trades. Remember, I said if I got to lose 8 trades to blow my account.
yeah,
So when I lose a $200 trade, I will look at it and I'll be like, right, okay, I got another 7 chances. Okay.
yeah,
Okay. But when I win, I'm like, do you know what? That was a good day. I just made 3 grand,
yeah. Times five. Yeah,
But I think the beauty about this whole thing, right, is after you get past your buffer. Because say I get past once you get past your $2,600 buffer with Apex,
yeah,
and now I'm trading and I'm in a place where I can take payouts. Say my account balance is like, $3,500, all right, per account. I took a trade, I lost 250. All right. I took another trade, I lost 250. I'm down 500 quid. Okay. The next 2 days, I made, say 600, 600, 600. Sorry, next 3 days, I made three 600s, right? So I made $1,800 profit, right? I had $500 loss. I made 1,800. So I'm 1,300 up. Okay. Now I can withdraw this money. Okay.
yeah.
But I can withdraw 1,300 per account.
Per account, exactly. That's when it gets
When I make
crazy.
my lot, when I make my losses, yes, it is across all accounts. But the thing is, I'm not withdrawing my losses. You see, so when I'm making a loss, it shouldn't affect me because I'm like, oh, it's just
Yeah,
a loss. I can bring it back. But every time I make profit above my buffer, it's money that I can withdraw.
exactly, exactly.
And my psychology is not getting shot because I'm not seeing like 2 grand losses or 3 grand losses or 5 grand wins and stuff like that. And what I also noticed, bro, is because I'm trading these small accounts and I'm looking at small profits. Like I'm happy to like trail behind my trade and run it up to $1,000 and stuff.
Mm,
You know, because even like because when you got like a $300 profit or $200 profit,
yeah,
you're like, no, it's only $300. I
yeah,
don't want to close it. I'm gonna trail it. I'm gonna keep it going. But if I had seen 300 times five, if I'd seen a $1,500
yeah,
profit, all of a sudden in my mind I'm thinking, oh, that's £1,500. Let
yeah,
me close
yeah.
500 and then let me keep. You see, it doesn't affect me, so it helps me cover my losses, like protect my losses, and also it helps me maximize my profits
That's
because
awesome.
I'm
That's
not
awesome. Yeah,
I'm not seeing the big number ever.
yeah. And you have the multiplication
So
factor behind it, which makes it absolutely crazy on the return on investment, just to how cheap the accounts are, but also like
insane, mate.
just as a first payout, your potential with only the five, because now they're 10. Like only with the
I know.
five, I was already thinking like this guy can either withdraw 500 times 5 or
Yeah,
2000 per account, which is literally like
times five.
either you take 2.5k or you take like
Yeah,
10k.
yeah,
First payout though, first payout, not
exactly.
even like just take it home and like go, which is already amazing. It's
Yeah,
like the money is still there, there's still potential to make even more.
absolutely. Every 8 days, you can
Yeah,
just go and just request a payout. And you know what? Once you understand, the rules that they have in terms of payout requests and all of that, it's not really that hard. Like it is.
mm,
It is like obviously they have to make it a bit difficult for
yeah,
people to to withdraw. No, not withdraw. Like not difficult. I mean, let me just rephrase that. What I mean is like they have to make it strict in
yeah,
certain ways so people don't gamble away and make the money because like the whole thing about you have to make at least $50 profit every 5 days. Some people look at it and think it's a bit. For me, I'm like, you know what, it's a good thing for me because for me, then if I have a couple of really good days, you know, I'll try and be careful of not taking like crazy trades or to try and make, I don't know, 50 grand or whatever. No,
Yeah.
I'll be like, because if it, I always think, right, if it was my capital, when I was trading my personal capital, you know, if I had a good start to the week, say
Hmm.
I made 500 pounds at the start of the week, then I'd be like, the next day, I'm only looking for very good trades.
Yeah.
You see, the second on a Tuesday, on a Thursday, I'm looking for good trades. And you know what? If I think the trade is going against me, I'm getting out.
Yeah.
So I
That's
would
good.
protect my capital like that. So in a funded set, when you're in a funded stage, why wouldn't you do that? Well, just because it's not your money anymore?
Hmm.
Do you know what I mean? So that that's why when people say like the rules are a bit thingy, but I think it's there to help you,
I mean,
help you.
it's got to be healthy both ways. It's got to there must be a balance because either way they can't. If it wasn't like that, they couldn't have paid you. You know, they couldn't pay people.
Exactly. And they're a business, bro, at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean?
Uh,
They're all businesses. They have to make money some
exactly.
way, and you know, the idea behind it is like if you know what you're doing, and if you figure out if you have a strategy and if you have a good profit taking system and things like that, then for those people, like once you reach that level, this is brilliant. but
Mm.
but as a business from Apex, they also know there are a lot of people trying to like get rich quick and all of that, and
Yeah.
and those people unfortunately will lose money. But the thing is, what I want to tell those people is, like, and people I meet on a daily basis, I tell them, look, when you take a loss like that, don't turn around and get sour about it and be like, oh yeah, it's a scam, it's this, that. It's not, because that's just your tuition fees. You're just paying money to learn this.
Yeah.
Like, think about it like that. If bro, when I started into trading, to go somewhere and learn a trading course, it would cost you something like 15 grand, 16 grand. It was £1,000 back in that. I'm talking 10, 15 years ago.
It's insane. Yeah.
You couldn't even get into a place, to be a trader. It was so hard to get into the spaces. But
Hmm.
nowadays, you could test it out. You could have the feeling of,
Yeah.
winning and losing and everything at a fraction of the cost.
Bro, way cheaper.
And sit in the comfort of your own home,
Yeah.
drink your coffee, and then enjoy. Do you know what I mean? You
Yeah.
can't you can't you can't you can't complain, can you?
You told me, and I could go check on the message. You told me like it was like December 5th, which is only like 10 days ago. You said it would be. I'm thinking about buying more, but yeah, I don't know about with Christmas in a way. But it would be amazing to go to January with 500K.
Yeah. Let me tell you about that, right? So let me tell. So so I was at first I thought I don't want to spend that kind of money. I'm like, I'll just wait because obviously Christmas coming up and all of that. It was
Yeah.
my daughter's birthday on the first, so we had like a little party and all of that. So I was like, right, I want to get the extra 5 accounts, but then I'm like, right, I gotta be mindful. I also thought, we don't have a lot of volume in the market coming up to holidays now. So the night that they released the offer, I I traded Asia that night. Okay,
Crazy.
I traded Asia for the first time, well, in a long time actually, and I made on my funded accounts. I think I made like 400 pounds, $400 per account.
Oh yeah, I see where this is going,
Yeah,
and you got the confidence.
yeah. So I traded Asia and I made that money, and I think I went to bed something like quite late. I think about half two, 3 o'clock, something like that.
Hmm.
This email dropped at 4 o'clock in the morning, right? So an hour after I went to bed. So then I woke up in the morning and I woke up, I felt good. I was like, you know what? Asian session. I didn't, because obviously gold moves a lot in Asia these days.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I
yeah,
thought,
yeah,
what,
yeah.
let's just see if I can capitalize on that. And so I woke up and then I felt good, right? Waking up. And then so I do my morning routine and stuff. And I picked up my phone. The first email I saw there was Apex 90% off. And it just felt to me like all of a sudden, I was like, right, I got to look into it. I got to give it a go. I swear to you, I saw the email. I was ready to like come sit down here to start my day, the New York session.
Yeah.
And I was like, I looked into it, looked at the price. I was like, okay, 1475 times 5, 75 quid. Right.
Sheesh.
That's all right. And under £100. Let's go. And then I just went and bought it straight away. I
Yeah.
was like, right, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And then this is what I want to tell you. So this is something else I want to tell you. You know, so I bought 5 accounts, yeah. Um, and I traded it. And the whole thing in my head, I was like, right, this is fake money. It's not your funded account, it's fake
Yeah.
money. Let's just go and trade it like heavily. So and I bet my money on gold. I was like, right, gold is gonna sell. And then it got to a key area, I sold gold. I went heavy on it.
Mm.
Boom, stop loss. Lost almost half of it. I was like, damn. And then I was like, right, I know gold. I know there's a sell coming. I know there's a sell coming. So I go for the next one. Bang, out. So I'm like, so I blew this, right? So
Yeah.
I've blown 5 accounts. So I'm like, oh my God, what have I done? What have I done? So I was like, I waited. So this is about New York. New York is about to open. And then I see, looking at price action, I'm like, I can see price slowing down, like very much the slowdown at these levels. So I'm like, right, okay, I'm going to buy 5 more accounts.
Mm.
Because I told myself, and you know what? At first I thought, am I gambling here? But then the only reason I decided to buy it is because I was like, right, I have a I have a strategy. I have a plan, right? I'm only trading from my key zones. Yeah. I've got a risk management plan. I got my stop losses, yeah, on every trade.
Yeah.
And it's always worked for me. And today I'm seeing an anomaly and I know it's gonna happen. I
Yeah.
just need to time it right. So I was like, I'm gonna buy 5 more.
Yeah.
Went and bought 5 more, waited. First trade, small loss. Second trade, a grand. Third one, I lost something like 600 or something like that. So I'm back down to $300 in profit. Drawdowns come down a lot as well.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So now I'm thinking, oh, damn it. Right. My next trade, I go up to from about six. No, I think I had $600 in profit. My next trade, I go up to 1,993, right,
Nice.
in profit. Now I need a grand. And this was the first big sell-off where I made
Yeah. Yeah.
1,093. So as soon as New York opened, there was a big sell-off, right? Well, it came down, pushed up, and then
Mm-hmm.
sold off. I got it right at the top, but then because the move was so heavy, I waited for a retracement, and
Mm-hmm.
then I saw a rejection again. I was like, right, I'm gonna get a wick fill here. So if I get a wick fill, I pass. So I risked big. I think I risked something like $600. On very tight though. That's the thing. You see,
Yeah.
so my contract sizes are big. Um, on a tight stop loss. Didn't even have to wait for the week fill.
Yeah.
Pass
Yeah. Yeah.
one day. One day.
Yeah. One day to pass. Yeah. Exactly. Because then it's like a snowball effect.
I
Like the first one was super fast, but the second one is even faster, and it's 5 accounts, which is the most craziest. But then
bro,
you
it
just
is
hit
mad.
like, because you already funded on one side, then you can also like pass accounts way faster because you're already like risk averse to it. Like you don't even care.
Yeah.
You just take the
Yeah,
aggressive
bro.
approach, and then it's like a snowball effect. Like it gets
100%.
yeah.
100%. And you know what? It is that one thing, it's it's knowing when to care and when not to care,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because once you're funded, you have to care. But I still think I think this is one of the downsides for me still. I think on these funded accounts I care too much. I
Yeah.
I gotta care for it, but at the same time I gotta
It's gotta be a
also be a bit
balance. Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's got to be a balance to it. Because when I was speaking to my brother about it, and I told him, I said, "Oh, bro, I went and got another five, and I passed it." He said, why can't you employ this sort of a mindset a bit more into your funded ones? I said, Sam, it's easy to say it, but when
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
sat
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
doing it, it's a bit hard.
You can't.
But
You
I think
can't
it's a
because
good point.
no, but you can't
It is
because the same way you blew the first five, you would have blown the funded. But it's
exactly,
like what
exactly.
I say, like too much risk, like too much caring, balance in the middle.
Yeah, you have to balance in the middle. Otherwise, I'll just go back to the old me of where like where I was doing 1/4% risk and things like that, and
Yeah,
then so you know, at some point you have to like detach yourself from the
exactly.
outcome.
You have to.
Like you don't you because the outcome doesn't matter. And that's how it should be, I think, because if you have a process and your process works and it's worked for you so many times, you just have to follow that process because the
Exactly.
outcome it will come. It will
Exactly.
come. You
Just
know,
execute. Just execute.
yeah. And I was, like someone was saying, what is a good day? Is a good day a day that you made profit? No, no, a good day is the day that you stuck to your plans.
Exactly. Exactly.
That is a good day. I could have a losing day. I could, so at the moment, right, all my accounts, I've put a $250 daily loss limit. As soon as I hit $250 daily loss, account's locked. I can't trade
Mm-hmm.
anymore.
Nice.
And I actually like those because you know what? If I hit my daily loss on a first trade, I'm like, yes, early day,
Yep.
time off. Like
Uh huh.
I'm
Uh
like
huh.
early finish. I can go do what I want now.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not working anymore.
Yeah.
But what I was saying was, if you have a process and you're not attached to outcomes, I could follow my process. I took a trade, right? You know what? Did I do all my plans? Did I take it from an area that I wanted? Did I manage my risk well? Did I put a stop loss on it? Did I change the stop loss? Like I when
Yep.
I should I'm not allowed to. That's my rule. If
Mm-hmm.
you stick a stop, you have to stick to it. That's the risk you took at the start of the trade. You can't change it. So if I followed all my steps and I still lost, that's a good day.
Yep.
I could have a
It
day
is.
where
It is.
I could have a day I make 2 grand profit, but then I gambled my way through it.
That's a bad day.
Mentally, that's a bad day. That is a
Exactly.
bad day.
Yep.
So in my journal, I actually put it down as the good days are the days. So I got so many good days where I lost money. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I had to train myself to be like, right, your good days and your bad days are not necessarily days that you win or lose. It's the days that you stuck to your process. You
Exactly.
stuck to a plan and you didn't change things. Those are your good days. And
Exactly.
once you train your brain in that way, games change, bro.
Exactly. To finish it off, I would like to ask you this question: like, for someone that's watching this and saying like, he's just special, he hasn't been through what I've been through, or like, things like that. What would you say to that person?
In 3 minutes, I'm going to tell you very quickly my life story. Okay, so I'm 38 years old. All right,
Yeah.
I moved to the UK in 2004. All right, and when I came here, he came here with my parents. Didn't have much. We just started making it. Making a living, and I went to school. I dropped out of school. Okay.
Hmm.
I never finished my A levels. I went to London. I lived in London with a group of friends. Didn't even have a bed. Okay.
Jeez.
Slept on the floors. Yeah, with on a mattress. I didn't have to do any of this. I had my family. I could have stayed here. But then this is what I chose to do. I was a bit of a rebel, so I
Hmm.
did that. No education. I worked. Cash in hand jobs. I walked to work when because I didn't have the money to go pay a bus fare. I did all of that, bro, and then I came back home, and then I decided, right, I wanted to go to university. I went into university not because I had good grades. I went to university because I applied as a mature student, and they interviewed me and they accepted me into it. So after that, I go into university, big step for me. Come out of university, I start my own family life, and I got into debts that most people who would watch me here wouldn't even be able to comprehend.
Hmm.
Like you wouldn't even be able to understand. Like if I tell you the amounts, you'd be like, "What? How can someone get into that much debt?" Like it is insane, right? So I did that. I started a business, right, selling cars. It was going so well, and then it all started going wrong for me. So I
Hmm.
got into so much debt the last 2 years when I've been trying to like figure myself out and like turn trading into a professional setup for me. I was struggling with immense amount of debt,
Yeah, that's the
yeah,
worst. Yeah.
and stress and all of that, and I had to make this work,
Yeah.
yeah. And I kept going and I did not give up. Every time I had a bad time and people said, right, this is not going to work, I was like, I did not give up, bro. I was like, this is it for me. Yeah. I know I can make it work. I just have to change myself. And I think that's the thing with trading. You see, the moment you change yourself, your trading game will change. because trading is a reflection of you.
Exactly.
It's literally a
That's exactly
reflection
what
of
I
you.
say. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I know. I hear you say, but it's so true. It is so
Yeah,
true. If you fix yourself, you'll fix your trading.
yeah.
Simple.
But yeah, bro, it is like
That's what
that.
I
It
would
is like
say.
that. And yeah, story inspirational, bro. Inspirational. And right now,
Thank you,
road
man.
to a million. Road to a
Bro,
million.
100%. That's the plan. That's the
The
plan.
the way
So
it's
I think
going.
January.